Good morning and welcome to Life Stories. Normally, I do not record on Monday mornings. I usually do it the week before and post, but it has been a long weekend. So I'm recording on Monday morning and I'll post it later today. I'm glad that you're here. I hope you had a wonderful Easter weekend. We hosted a good portion of our family here, which I think has happened every year since we moved into this house, and I love it. That is why we built the house that we did. I wanted to have room for people to come and not feel cramped, and no matter how big the crowd is. So we had a great time with family. The weather was wonderful. We were able to be outside and it was fun. And before we celebrated Easter, I went to the Behind Her Brand conference, which was the second conference and the second one I've been to. And I love being a part of this community. I know I've talked about it a lot, but there's good reason for me to talk about it a lot. Behind Her Brand is a community of women who are business owners and entrepreneurs and come from all different walks of life. But this community has been created for women to support one another and encourage one another. And those are not just nice things that I say about, this group. It's not just a great idea. It really happens. These women have helped me by giving me advice. They've given suggestions. I've bounced ideas off of them. And these are not just women that I see once a year at a conference or, online occasionally for a Zoom call or something. I have a lot of their phone numbers. They have mine. And I know that there are some that I can text and call and communicate with anytime I need to, and they feel the same about me. I made new connections this year, and it was so fun to see people that I hadn't seen all year since the last conference, or I've talked to them online. A lot of them I met last year, and then I've talked to online all year long, and I haven't seen them in person. Some of them live out of state, and so it was great to hug, get some hugs in and just see them in person. It was wonderful. But there are some that I've seen often and I talk to often, and I'm so thankful for this group of women. There have been different times in my life where I've had ideas to start things, start a business or start whatever it was, and all I've needed is one person to believe in me, to give me that push to step out. That's all I needed. And sometimes that's all you need, is that one person to encourage you and believe in you. And to speak truthfully to you, to say, I don't know if you should do that. I think maybe you should stick with this, or I would do this, or whatever. Sometimes that's all you need. And so it is wonderful to have such an incredible community to be able to do that with. And there are a few things. I took multiple pages of notes while I was there. We had some great speakers. Michelle Perzan was one of the speakers, and she was my very first video guest on my podcast. And Nick Austin, she was on my podcast also. She's just such an amazing woman, and she's from England, and so people were having her repeat some of the things that she said because it was hard to understand. And she said, I'm not the one with the accent. Y'all are all the ones with the accent. It was pretty funny. But I just gained some incredible insight and wisdom and encouragement from these women that spoke. What a gift to be able to sit and listen. And so I was just going to share a few of the things that I learned, because I think it's not just about Behind Her Brand. It's about anybody that is in business or is just in life. I think these little nuggets of wisdom are powerful no matter where you are or who you are. Our words of the week this week.
It's the word of the week.
Our core values. Multiple people that spoke this weekend talked about core values. And they asked, what is most important to me? Not me, but, what is most important to you? And why is it most important to you? What are your non-negotiables? What are the things that you are not going to stray from? What are the things that you are not going to participate in? Because this is what I believe. I really had to think. I know what they are. Off the top of my head, I could name several, but I looked back over this past year or year and a half at my non-negotiables, at my core values. And I'm thankful that I've stood for some of them, because I think I would have been led into a place I didn't want to be. What are the things that are most important to you? and why are they most important, and what are your non-negotiables? And every decision that I make for my podcast or whatever I do from here on out, I want to stick by those. I want to make sure that I'm not straying from what I know is most important in my life, for what I want to stand for and what I want people to see in my life when they look at me. Do I get it right every time? Oh my goodness, no. But I want to try to. I want to stand on that and be purposeful in the way that I live my life and the things that I do. The first thing that really stood out to me, Belinda Aycock spoke, and one of the things that she said, I'm guilty of not doing this, and I really have got to try to be better about this. I fail often, but she said to be where your feet are. Be present wherever you are. Be present in that moment. And I am so guilty of either grabbing my phone and just, clicking on Facebook. It's like I do it without even thinking. I need to just take that off my phone because it is such a habit. It's ridiculous. It's a habit. I need to be present with the people that are around me. And yesterday, church was crazy, and it was, Easter Sunday, and I'm trying to do 500 different things, and I'm thinking about different things. And I think I was a little irritated, not with anybody, but I was just frustrated in the moment. And I came across as just being ugly to somebody, and I didn't mean to. I really didn't mean to. It wasn't them. Nobody did anything. I just was frustrated. And have you ever been thinking about something and like you're talking out loud, you're venting out loud, and you're not talking to anybody, but somebody's right in front of you, and so they kind of get your frustrations? That's what I was doing, and I felt bad afterwards, and I was so not paying attention to who was in front of me that I could not have even picked that person back out to go apologize. Like I was thinking about too many things. Have you ever heard that a woman's brain is like a web browser that has 27 different tabs open? That's what I have felt lately. I feel like I have so many things that are on my mind that I'm thinking about that I need to do, or plans that are coming up, and I've got to just slow down and stop, and I want to be better. It is my prayer that I would be better about being present in the moment. Things are going to take care of themselves. God's going to take care of the things that I give to Him. I don't have to, in fact, I can't handle everything. I can't. I want to be better about being where my feet are, being present where I am. I can't control anything else, but I can control my attitude, and I can control just stopping and being present. And so that was one of the things that really stood out to me. Another thing is finding your people, finding your front row people. Who are the people that are on your front row in life, who are cheering you on, who are smiling at you, who are encouraging you? Who are the people you're listening to for advice and direction and wisdom? For many, many years, I don't think I could have my own opinion of anything because I relied on other people's opinions. I relied on my husband's opinion or the people around me. What did they think? Because whatever they think is probably right, and that's what I should do. And that's just not true. They may have great advice. The people around us may have great advice, but I can't rely on their thoughts and their opinions to do what needs to be done in my life. Who's speaking into your life right now? Who's speaking into your life? Who are you listening to? Are you only listening to the people that are telling you what you want to hear? Because that's easy and that's comfortable. And I've been there before. I've been there and only wanted to hear from those people that were telling me exactly what I wanted to hear. But that's not helpful. That's not helpful. We're watching American Idol right now, which I love American Idol. We love music in our house. And so it's just something fun that we do as a family every year. And they don't do it as much anymore, but in the beginning, they would they would show people on TV that were not good singers. They just did not have any kind of talent at all. But, people around them told them, oh, you're so good. Yes, you can do it. You can do it. How is that helpful? If that person does not have a gift of singing and they're not going to make it as a singer. How is that helpful when you're telling them what they want to hear and not the truth? And I know that's a silly example, but that's what I think of. I want people, do I want to be criticized all the time for everything that I do? No, nobody wants that. but I want front row people that are going to encourage me. There was a time behind her brand, we had a Zoom call, and I had this idea for something for my podcast, and I brought it up, and they were all very kind about it, but they all encouraged me to not step out in that, and they were right. They didn't tell me, oh yeah, go ahead and go do it. I think that's a great idea. No, they all made it clear it's probably not the direction I needed to go, and they were right. And I'm so thankful that I asked, and I'm so thankful that they told me the truth. And I encourage you to find those front row people that will encourage you and cheer you on as you're going, as you're doing whatever it is you're doing, but that will tell you the truth in love, that they're not going to just tell you what you want to hear. They're going to tell you what you need to hear and love you while they do it. They're going to affirm you. They're going to encourage you in your gifts and your strengths, but they're going to also protect you from maybe making a choice that's probably not that wise. Another thing that they talked about, Jessica Fields, awesome woman. Love her so much. She talked about making adjustments in our business. She was talking about how just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do it. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean that's what you're supposed to be doing for your business or your work. And it's true. And she said, she gave up several examples of she had done something like she planned a birthday party and somebody said, hey, where's your business card? Could you plan my child's birthday party? And she thought, oh, I could do that. That's good. But that's not what she's supposed to be doing. And then she gave another example of, same kind of thing that happened. She said to ask this question, will this decision delay, detour, or accelerate my vision? The vision that I have for my podcast, there are opportunities that come up. There are people that have reached out to me to have their, somebody they work for to be on this podcast, and it hasn't always worked out. And there's good reason for that. And so I want to ask myself, the decisions that I make for what I'm doing, is this decision going to delay or detour or accelerate my vision? Am I staying focused on what I intended to do, or am I going off on a tangent somewhere else just because something sounded like a great idea? For me, because I pray, because I trust God, that's where I am seeking wisdom. Yes, I'm asking the people around me, my front row people, I'm asking for wisdom. But those people that are in my front row, they're also praying. They're also seeking the Lord for wisdom and direction. And, I want to be guided by His peace. If something in me just does not feel right, there's just something about it that isn't right, it's probably not good for me. That's the way that I want to be led in every decision I make, whether this podcast lasts another 20 years or, I'm done next week. I want to make sure I stay focused on the vision that I had from the very beginning. I hope I've encouraged you today. I hope you can find your front row people today, that you can name them. And if you don't have them, that you will find them quickly, people that will support you and encourage you on your journey. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.